much that sticks out on a wide view is that small little area. And it looks tiny, but when they're that small like that, it also tells you that that thing is spinning like crazy and doing the damage, and that we don't want to have happen. And I just hope everyone's safe. I hope everyone was already in their safe spot. And let's hope for the best here, Kevin, on this one.
You know, I'm looking at some of the wind reports out of Hart County. We had over 70 mile per hour. In fact, it was 74 mile per hour winds out of the Mesonet station in Hart County. Same storm pushing through. So not out of the question to see 70, 80, 100 plus mile per hour winds with this storm still intensifying. I mean, look at those colors. This does not lie. From Peck Ford to Bradfordville to Pennock over to Riley. I'm going to leave it here. You've got to be in your tornado safe place. You really need to be underground at this point. Get out of the mobile homes. You're not going to make it if you're in a mobile home. You need to get out and seek shelter in a more sturdy structure. So if you're in Riley or Gravel Switch, heed my words and make sure you have a plan. Get somewhere. You still got a few minutes if you're up this way, but by a few minutes, I mean a few minutes, not long at all. Lebanon, you've escaped the worst of this storm, but it's going on just to your south. It's moving at 60 miles per hour, a very fast-moving storm as this continues to race off to the northeast at about 60 miles an hour. The debris, here we go. And again, you can see it. So this storm is on the ground. This tornado is on the ground. Not only can we see it by radar and the debris that we think we see, but we've had confirmed spotters report that the tornado is on the ground. This was located not far from Lebanon. It was just off to the south of the Lebanon area. You can see Lebanon here. This is the storm. Peck Ford, Bradfordville. This is moving at 55 to 60 miles per hour. Again, a troublesome sight to see on the radar. We go back to our camera view. Going to take us home for a second. Brian pointed out that that's what really shows up and stands out. We have additional wind that's moving through parts of the viewing area off to our north. We can see that with the velocity as well. You can see those areas moving across parts of Shelby and into Franklin, down into Spencer County with some very heavy wind. Now, we have reports coming in out of Bowling Green, a number of damaged or collapsed structures due to the tornado. There are people trapped, and the damage to the Corvette plant with a fire on its roof is going on. So that's in Bowling Green. It's part of the same system that is now moving through our viewing area to our south. So we've got some major stuff happening tonight. A couple severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the only tornado warning. Clearly easy to see that couplet showing up. And I'm going to just take us in very tight on this. Brian, I see you're on it as well. We'll just compare notes. Let's just have a conversation here about what we see. There's no question along 49 and likely to be just past that, probably just north of Bradfordville, where we see the intense rotation.
Well, you were talking about how it's moving about 60 miles per hour. It's moving so fast, I'm having to go really far back here on the slider bar to try to keep up with this path as it moves eastbound. So based on the most recent updated image we got, this is likely going to be updated about here right now. So let me zoom in on where that is. Whoops, I kind of lost it. Again, that's going to be just north of 237. And yeah, you're right. Gravel Switch is going to be right there. I mean, you're going to be grazed right back there on the south side. I'm sure there's several of the traffic lights right there on the southern end to get you into town as well. But that is, I mean, this is moving so fast. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't try to get out of your home. It's too late for that. So if you're in the path that we just have drawn here on the map, you just need to figure out where to go, where you're at in your structure now. And it's lowest level, away from windows, interior is the best place. Throw some blankets over you if you can, grab the kids, grab the pets, that kind of ordeal. It's not going to last long. In fact, it may only last really about 30 seconds or so, if not a little bit longer, and then it's likely going to be over. So it's a quick hitting system, but when it comes through, it is still doing some damage, it looks like.
No question. We see it. It's, again, concerning not only on the velocity that we see, and let me just center up the camera. It's past Calvary, past Peck Ford. Let me go back to the pan feature. We'll sort of square up Riley and Gravel Switch here coming into those areas. I'm going to put that right there. That's good. There's Gravel Switch. And when we look at the debris that we can often see from the radar, again, showing up. So we have, again, something being lofted into the atmosphere that shouldn't be there. We still see some frequent lightning strikes, all indicators that this tornado is still on the ground, still moving toward Riley, still moving toward the Gravel Switch area, all in southern parts of Marion County. We've been making a number of phone calls all night long. We've had a number of reports of damage from a number of communities across western Kentucky and even into central Kentucky. I want to point out that this tornado warning is certainly deserving of your attention. You've got to get in your tornado safe place, away from windows and away from any type of outer wall. Interior. You can see the velocity showing that rotation. Again, Riley and Gravel Switch all in line to see that. We're going to keep the radar on the screen, but as we do that, I do want to get to Tawana Andrew in the Wave 3 News Storm Tracker. She has been out and about surveying some of the damage here locally, and then we'll broaden out as we get more reports. Always hard to get reports late at night. Tawana is in the Storm Tracker, where we've had some power lines down some of the major thoroughfare here in Louisville. You're looking at a live picture there. Tawana, can you tell us where you are and what you're seeing?
So right now, I'm currently on Bells Mills Road. So we're trying to get towards the Mount Washington area to see any damage that may have occurred earlier when that tornado warning went through. Now, what we've been seeing so far is we've been traveling through this area, quite a few tree limbs down. I've been looking around. I haven't seen any damage to buildings themselves, but of course, as we get a little bit closer to where we're trying to go towards Cox Creek, this is what some of what we're dealing with. And this is why we tell you try not to be out in the roads at this time of the year, because there are tree limbs down across the roads. It's quite dangerous to try to get through some of these areas, especially since it is quite dark and it's not quite lit up. So this is something that you want to be aware of. If you are trying to get out, maybe you're one of those people who have to work early on this morning, yeah, it's better to just stay at home, wait till the sunlight comes up so you can actually see what's going on, because as we continue to drive through this area currently on Bells Mills Road, trying to get a little bit closer to Old Mill Road, this is something that we've been dealing with a lot of tree limbs on the ground. Something else that we've noticed as we've been traveling earlier, we passed by 65 near the old area, so where the power lines were down, but we're currently going to try to get a little bit closer to see what damage is going on as the morning continues. Kevin.
All right, thanks, Tawana. We'll get back to you as we get more reports in, and we'll certainly be looking for those live images from the Storm Tracker. Powerful vehicle as we see severe weather moving through. Again, something more powerful is the weather, and we can see that with the velocity. We're still tracking the tornado warning to our south. You know, a few limbs and down power lines will be nothing compared to what this is likely causing. We continue to track this storm across southern parts of Marion County as this now moves almost out of the county. Gravel Switch is right on the edge, and you can see as I just center that up, there's Riley, there's Gravel Switch 68, and that will continue 243, 68, and that's going to move right through the Brumfield area as it moves out of Marion County. So that's one zone that we're watching. Back to the radar we go, and you can see the heavy rain falling with that. The tornado warning continues for Boyle, Marion, Mercer, Washington. It is observed. It is on the ground. We have had reports of the tornado seen, and obviously we've seen some of the debris showing up with the radar detection. Now, Brian and I were looking at a few things while Tawana was reporting, and Brian, you mentioned the governor has said this is a historic event.
Yeah, he's already released a statement. His press conference is still about an hour and 15 minutes away, but he's already tweeted out saying that multiple deaths have taken place in western Kentucky in the Mayfield area from what happened at the very beginning stages of really how this evening unfolded, and already calling this a weather event tonight an historic event. He's going to have much more on that coming up. And tons of video, by the way, flowing in on social media too down in Bowling Green. Bowling Green looks like it was really hard hit with a lot of damage in that area. And right now, getting information there is tough. This is Interstate 65, by the way, where those power lines are across their outer loop, where again 65 is closed. That's a tough job they've got to deal with, especially with still some lightning and wind in the area. And that threat will continue for a few more hours. Even though it's not severe weather, it makes it tough. This is Bowling Green. This is Western Kentucky campus area. I think it is. Maybe that looks like maybe Pierce Ford Tower. I'm not sure, but either way, it is still just a big mass down. There was sort of transformers blowing there over and over there near the WK. Look at that.
And the power's out.
Yeah.
So that's a video
Pierce
that
Ford
we've
Tower.
had come in. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is Pierce Ford Tower. I can tell by the beacon on top. So that's Western Kentucky University's campus there that we're looking at. We're looking
that's
south.
not live. You can see the time
Yeah.
on that. That was just after 1 o'clock their time, so that would be about 2:20 our time, so just a little bit over an hour old. But that's what it was like when those storms were moving through the Bowling Green area, and you can see power is on. Those are transformers.
WBKL, by the way, is behind right there. That bright flash, that's where the TV station is in the distance. So they're right there where all that happened. And that's the Preston Center. You guys know the gym in the front and the foreground. So it's right on the southern flank there at WKU and Russellville Road.
That's the same storm that we're watching move into and now out of Marion County. It's where we have the tornado warning. Next in line would be Boyle-Mercer out of Washington for the most part. You can see that that is the area that we have zoomed in. Gravel switch. We've been watching you closely. I'm going to zoom this radar out just a bit. We'll put on the latest set of velocity tools that we have, and with that you're going to notice the bulk of this storm now moving past Gravel Switch and out of the county. As that takes place, we still have some gusty winds and strong winds along 150 up into parts of the Washington County area, and strong winds now moving out of Marion County. So Boyle County on standby to pick up the brunt of the wind as it moves in. Once again, we'll hand our coverage over to Lexington for those folks. For us here, we continue by watching these storms move through with, yes, still the potential to see that rotation and the damage that will be coming along with it. Out of Taylor County, we have the emergency manager who's reporting a collapsed structure with people trapped on Feather Creek Road, and that is north of Campbellsville in northern parts of Taylor County. So again, where we said that couplet was real, it is tight. It is a tornado that's on the ground. That is the zone that we were watching. So Feather Hill Road seems to be one of those places hit. Again, not everybody's getting the severe weather, but boy, the places that are getting hit hard. The wind fields are strong. The tornadoes have been real, and they have been damaging and deadly in some ways overnight tonight. We're coming up on about 3:45 in the morning. We've been on all night long. We promised you we would be here. We're not going anywhere until the threat of severe weather is over. And once we can really assess what's happened, that won't come until after daybreak, frankly, because as the sun rises, it brings a whole new picture to the damage that has been done across the area. And I have a feeling we're going to see a whole lot of it from West Kentucky right into Central Kentucky. And that trend may continue. We still have the tornado warning. We still have the tornado that appears to be on the ground. We still have damage that is showing up by the radar view. Here in Louisville, you can see to our north, this is a broken line of storms. There are no warnings in our viewing area along that. You see a few closer to the Ohio border. For us in Louisville, if you're looking to get some rest, odds are the bulk of the storms are over for us. Now, we still have some thunderstorms, but the bulk of the threat for the strongest storms, and I say that with caution, but it looks to be mainly over for us. The stronger storms will continue to build across areas to our south, mainly along and south of the parkways, as it appears now. And Brian, jump in and let's have this discussion as we're looking at data in real time. I don't want to call the all clear completely, but I do think we're seeing less and less of that opportunity here.
Yeah, absolutely. That looks to be the case. I think we've got certainly what we call this area of stratiform rain really expanding into the metro, and that's going to help things out. Speaking of rain, though, it is worth mentioning that this is stuck. This rain band, it is not moving, and there is heavier rain all the way to the west of this. So flash flooding is going to become a concern in areas that would basically line up with the tornado path that came through there. So emergency managers, first responders are really busy right now trying to handle this area. It's very important you stay off the roads, even through, I would say, sunrise here on Saturday. It's going to be a mess for a while, and this flash flooding risk is going to keep things even more on the dangerous side. So just kind of a heads up there. But that area is concerning, seeing that much heavy rain just repeat itself along that band, and there's not much to move out of the way right now.
Boyle, Casey, Marion, Mercer, you still have the tornado warning. It's been trimmed back quite a bit. That warning goes until 4 o'clock, another 10 minutes on that. Still showing the signs of rotation. We'll zoom into it one more time. We're going to check with Ryan Hoke coming up. He's been looking at a lot of the social posts that you all have been communicating. He's also been calling a number of emergency managers in the police, fire, and EMS in the zones that have been hit hard tonight. So we're going to check that coming up along with Tawana, who's in the storm storm tracker. I'm just going to center this up. It's pretty much past, I mean, almost out of Marion County here. So we'll be able to trim that out. Let's take a look at the velocity first. We're looking for that rotation. It's still there. It's not quite as tight as it was, but it now is past the gravel switch area pretty much solidly as you move over into the Boyle County area. Taking aim at Danville, it's going to move right into Danville and Harrodsburg. We'll see some strong winds, but the bulk of this rotation should take.
You're hearing those tornado sirens, but just hang with me, okay? We're going to get you through this. So just take a deep breath. We're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. We're watching this for you guys, and we're honing in on exactly where this storm is heading. And this is the tornado warning that is out for a number of counties across central Kentucky right now, Jim.
Several of them, and it's digging deeper now. See, it didn't take long for it to clear a lot of land, did it?
No, it did not. That thing is trucking. It is moving toward Gravel Switch, and next stop would be Boyle County for the spin on that. You know, and I'm looking at it. Jim, if we go back in on that, right on top of Bradfordsville and just north of Bradfordsville. Goodness gracious, I'm looking at a computer we have off camera here, just to the north of that, and you will be able to see this where the likely tornado is. It should be showing up right in here.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. And so that's what we're dealing with. So if we are getting a tornado from this, it is right here, folks. This is north of Bradfordsville and was a confirmed tornado from the National Weather Service into southern parts of Marion County. So this is it. And that's a strong tornado signature that we are looking at. There's a real chance this is producing a destructive tornado north of the Bradfordsville area. And this next sweep that goes through, you're going to see that moving off to the northeast a little quicker now. Moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. So this thing isn't going to waste any time in getting across the far northern tip of Casey County, getting into western parts of Boyle County. From there, we will see if it can impact Lincoln County, which is possible, northern Lincoln County, and up into maybe Harrodsburg, Mercer County. Sirens are going off right now, guarantee you. Perryville, sirens are going off. Danville, all across Boyle County, tornado sirens are going off. And it's scary, I get it. It's the middle of the night, and here you got us talking about a likely tornado coming your way. So if we go through, just listen to what we're walking you through with those tornado safety tips. Get to the center of the lowest floor possible, and that's what we're doing here. I see that new sweep went by, Jim, and it looks like it updated. If we take the track off, we'll be able to see, and it's got a couple of kinks that are showing up south of that as well. Hoping this thing cycles down just a little bit, but it's still there, right there. It may not be quite as stout, but you know what? That's just maybe just a minor deviation in it based on just the latest sweep.
But over the next half hour.
Yeah, so it is. It's about to get out of Marion County coming up shortly. It'll be on top of Gravel Switch in just a matter of minutes. Perryville, 3:51. That's 9 minutes from now. Danville before 4. Bergen, Bryantsville. So that's taking it over into northern parts of Gary County when you're talking that. So Harrodsburg, Danville, where will the core of this settle in between? Is it between both cities? Is it right? Is it on top of one of those cities? We'll see. We don't want it to be anywhere. We're not saying, hey, avoid this area and hit this area. No. We're not saying that at all. What we are doing, though, is watching this storm racing to the northeast very, very quickly. So that is your tornado warning. So again, lowest floor. If you got a basement, let's get to it. If you don't have a basement, it's the lowest level. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. You want to get away from the outer walls. You want to get away from windows. Windows just break. Get a tree limb. Can take a window down in a heartbeat, right? So here's the core of the storm, where the possible tornado would be, maybe shifting a little more toward the Gravel Switch area along 68 here, coming out of Boyle County and into Marion County. So this is going to continue to work its way to the northeast into Perryville, Junction City, Danville. If we're not in our basements or our storm shelters, let's get to it. All right? Just get to it. We'll let you know when it's time to come out. We're streaming right now. You can watch us on your phone from the storm shelter. If you can't for some reason, you know what? Crank the TV up. We'll talk to you. You can hear us. You just get to where you need to get to. Crank the TV up. We'll talk to you and let you know when it is when the all clear is sounding. We're not all clear. We're a long way from sounding that all clear as of now. So here's your storm. Gravel switch. This is 68 out of Perryville, coming out of Mercer County as well, and then of course here on 34. And a lot of folks are scared. Jim, I can't imagine right now being in one of these areas at going on 4 o'clock in the morning. You're sleeping soundly, and all of a sudden you hear the tornado sirens that are going off. Scary.
Like a thief in the night.
It is scary, scary stuff. But that's why we're here. We're remaining calm for you all, but we're gonna tell you exactly what we want you to do to get through this.
My question is, when are they going to try to put something out for this area?
Yeah, right, right.
Because they really
gave a
did
long
last
lead.
morning.
Yeah, we will see how far northeast that gets extended coming up here shortly. Is that severe thunderstorm warning still up there,
I
or
believe it's disappeared.
has it disappeared? Yeah, that.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh wow, that's stronger storms here, northern Scott County up into Harrison County. And that tornado warning, by the way, that was out for Robertson County and Mason County, no longer the case. That's been replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning. So that is at least some good news. And then you've got this storm. That's the only warning, Jim, technically in our TV coverage area. But again, we're here for everybody. And in today's world, listen, they're watching, just people who are into severe weather are watching from different places in the country.
Everywhere, you're right. Absolutely.
So, yeah, and if you're here in Kentucky, you're watching us, we're gonna take care of you.
So we've got it locked in. And again, waiting on some kind of lead on a warning, whether it be severe or whether it be another tornado warning into parts of.
So this is now official from Bowling Green, Jim, with multiple reports of collapsed structures due to the tornado. People are trapped, damage to the Corvette plant with a fire on its roof. The roof is on fire of the Corvette plant after a tornado hit it.
There you go. I mean, this is that cell, guys. This what we're talking right here.
It's the same cell. That's right.
It's the same one that's out there right now, closing on you folks there in Danville. It's that same cell that produced all that damage out there. It's on its way, and it's going to keep digging deeper and deeper into Boyle County here as we move through the next couple of hours. I say couple of hours. I really mean the next couple of quarters of an hour, because that's how quickly this is moving. Still right at 60 miles per hour off toward the east-northeast.
Yeah.
Still waiting to see if there's going to be an expansion on the warning.
Out of Taylor County, report of a tornado emergency manager saying a structure has collapsed there with people trapped just to the north of Campbellsville in northern Taylor County. So that was actually a little away from.
It was.
From the the tornado was actually north of Campbellsville, northern Taylor County, heading. So that would be with that likely tornado there in northern Taylor County that is now moving toward Gravel Switch and eventually into western Boyle County right now.
Same one, guys. It's the same one that has already had a history of producing damage and possibly tornadic activity so far. That's what it has done here this morning with folks out to our west and now trying to dig deeper into central portions of Kentucky here before you know it. Let's see, got a new report coming in here. Just checking everything. Chris is doing something right now, so I have to be both me and him for a second. But that's the cell right there, and it is a doozy of a thunderstorm that's possibly producing a tornado there. And I'm going to look at, they're going to continue the warning, but they haven't extended it to anything. You see it flashing there on your screen. They're continuing it along. So once again, I'm going to do one of these things, guys, where we look inside it to see the wind, because that's what helps me kind of figure out where everything is happening. Okay, circulation not quite as dominant as it was a little while ago. Earlier, I mean, it was just a clear signature on there. Now it's becoming more of a muffled view, and giving us that kind of view, maybe indicating that the circulation is just a lot broader right now, but still certainly there, little small areas of it. That's what you can run into, is little multiple areas of circulation that could still cause some concern in that area. Now, we look around a little bit more, I'm waiting to see what happens out and away from it, because you have to keep something going, I would imagine, at this point, because of the long history that this cell has had producing severe weather. I mean, it's been around for a long time, long-tracked severe thunderstorms, and this has been the tornado warning for a while, and that's what continues to spin out there. And just reading the continuation of that warning. But again, we could still see some spin-ups with this as it all comes together here. We could see some of these severe elements stay alive and well into the early morning hours here, as we're right now approaching 4 o'clock in the morning on this Saturday. Not exactly the way we wanted to start the weekend, but this is something we've been watching for the past few days and knew the potential was there. But here we are. I mean, we're right in the heart of it right now. There's the storm itself, the one that's had this long history of producing damaging winds and even a tornado on the ground. It's here. It's in our area right now. No changes from warning status just yet. But if you're there, and if you're there anywhere, if you're in Mercer County, if you're in Boyle County, if you're in Lincoln County, this thing is barreling through that area right now and could be producing a tornado. It certainly has the indication there, and there are multiple areas of spin that we're concerned about too, that can spin up not only one, but maybe another area or two. See, that's another concern, because the spin looks that way on the interior of the cell. As we keep on tracking it and keep on moving along with our severe weather threat this morning, Chris Bailey. Did you hear anything from our sister station out west yet?
Nothing as of yet. Out in Bowling Green, we're hoping that they're okay. New update on the. I don't know if you were just giving that or not. I was talking to our assistant news director, but on this tornado warning, capable of producing the tornado still, Lebanon, and they do say the environment out ahead of that is still conducive for spin-ups.
Yeah.
So
that's a big concern.
So you may just get that extended into Jessamine County, into Garrett County, Madison County, just to be on the safe side, because it does have a history of pulsing up and pulsing down just a little bit. So it kind of cycles its way through.
And again, we want to point out this is the same cell that was in Bowling Green that's caused all that damage.
And Bowling Green has been devastated, folks. What we are seeing right now coming out of Bowling Green has just been heartbreaking. It's sad to see, and I can only imagine as soon as we get daylight.
Yep.
The video we're going to get out of Bowling Green, out of Western Kentucky, is going to be horrific, and let's hope we don't get that anywhere else in the Central and Eastern Kentucky. But it's obviously something we can't say won't happen.
Especially with a cell like this is still out there at this time of night.
Mm-hmm.
It has been so impressive. Let's dig in again. Okay, still seeing some of the broad circulation there, broad rotation, I should say, and that would indicate that we could still keep something spinning out there. And that's what one of the taglines on the last warning said was the atmosphere is ready for it, and it is primed and ready to keep anything alive like this, alive and well, to keep traveling through this air mass. Everything has to be just right, and things are just right tonight, unfortunately, as we make our way through the very early morning hours here on this Saturday, friends. There you see the strong thunderstorm likely producing a tornado a little while ago. Maybe just true severe at this moment, but we're sticking with that warning right now and waiting to see what comes next. Because still plenty again, we had great lead time on this warning last time. I'd like to see a good lead time on it again here, whether it's another warning, severe thunderstorm warning, or whether it's another tornado warning, whatever the expansion is. I would like to see what it is, see something come out here shortly.
Yes, Storm Prediction Center, by the way, just putting out a statement on how the strong tornado potential should begin to lessen in the next 1 to 2 hours, but it's still there across the bluegrass region of central Kentucky. So they're essentially tracking this supercell thunderstorm that we have the tornado warning for right now coming into Boyle County to the northeast between Lexington and Richmond, essentially on the Kentucky River, and then northeast toward Moorhead. And as it gets northeast of let's say Winchester, it begins to weaken a little bit.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, because it's had the history of producing wind damage and everything else. So let's give kind of an overall view again of what we're talking about as we kind of just reset everything. You've got strong thunderstorms across northern Kentucky. No warnings out outside of Mason County where it's a severe thunderstorm warning. Lexington Metro, no warnings as of yet, but you get farther to the southwest, and there's your tornado warning that continues in effect, and that is now especially for northern sections of Casey County, northern parts of Lincoln County, all of Boyle County, and southern parts of Mercer County, and that includes the cities of Harrodsburg and Danville as well. And again, let's go and look inside this storm because it has weakened. It does not have the strong tornado signature that we had a little bit ago, but what we're looking at on this, if you will notice here, and we saw this a few times earlier, Jim, where it almost looks a little more linear, but then you start to see just a few little kinks in there.
Yep.
So you got a little kink here, a little one here that is just to the southwest of Danville, west of Junction City, and then it's maybe a smaller extent to the southwest of Harrodsburg. So you have a couple of circulations in there that are kind of fighting with one another, what it looks like. Instead of how this earlier was just one complete circulation. So now you got a few in there that are battling it out to see if one can take over. I say fight it out because that lessens the overall tornado risk with this. But until we see a few more sweeps and see if those come back together or they stay fighting with that, that storm could weaken if they stay fighting. But as of now, I would not put this warning out just yet. I wouldn't put it to bed because we've seen this cycle too many times over the past, 2 hours now?
Yes.
I mean, since it hit Bowling Green with a devastating tornado, and now it cycled down a little bit where it lost the rotation. Everybody went, it's weakening. 10 minutes later, strengthening, tornado. Had produced likely tornado again in Taylor County and Marion County. So it may have cycled down just a little bit here lately, but don't let that fool you. That thing could spin back up in a hurry here. So we will see exactly how that plays out into Boyle County, into Mercer County, northern Lincoln County, far northern parts of Casey County. Then again, downstream. Do we get that warning extended into Jessamine County, southern Woodford County, northern parts of Garrett County, maybe Madison or southern Fayette? I can't say that doesn't happen. And given what I've seen with this storm so far, Jim, over the past couple of hours, I would hedge on putting out a new warning just to be on the safe side.
And I had to go back. I'm checking the time. I wanted to see what the expiration time on that was. And it's 4 o'clock for that one. So we are just, roughly 3 minutes away from the expiration of that warning for the one that we have out there at the moment. So, now or 5 minutes ago would have been a better time to have the next one to come out.
Haven't given us an indication of whether or not this is going to be extended or allowed to expire. So, the good thing is we're in direct communications with the National Weather Service, all of the offices around us via a chat. So that's what we do, and we'll see exactly what they do. Getting some major tornado damage reports around Campbellsville and Taylor County. So
it doesn't surprise me with the signature at that time.
When we pull that up, I stepped off cam and I saw one of our off-camera computers and I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I mean, that thing went from 0 to 60 again very, very quickly.
And right now, I'm just waiting on to see if there's an extension of the warning. We know that's a strong storm, first of all. Apparently at 5 o'clock this morning, coming up here in just over an hour, Governor Beshear is going to be having a press conference, a news conference. At 5?
At 5 this morning to address the devastation. I'm seeing reports from some stations in Louisville, Jim, of at least 50 people dead in Mayfield.
50 people?
50. Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing the damage now as I turn around there.
50 people. So, Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with tonight, folks. At least 50 people. This according to a report from our CBS affiliate in Louisville.
It's unbelievable.
That at least 50 people have died in Mayfield alone. New tornado warning now includes Richmond, now includes Lancaster, now includes Nicholasville. That is to the northeast, so we did get that tornado warning extended. There you go for Boyle, Garrett, Jessamine, Lincoln, Madison, and Mercer, and it goes until 4:45. So this does not include Fayette County, but it is just to the south of Lexington, Jim, and that again goes until 4:45. That is essentially an extension of our storm as it makes its way into central Kentucky as of now. Still got those competing, what looks like competing circulations into Boyle County. And again, this is pulsed up and down for 2 hours now. So, so kudos to the National Weather Service in Louisville for sticking with this warning out ahead of it.
That's good. You know, it's about to enter a very heavily populated area.
Yes, it is. Lexington Metro and South.
And so we're talking about a lot of folks in line of that severe thunderstorm possibly producing a tornado that's now southwest of Lexington, rolling through Boyle County right now. If there's a true center of it, it'd be somewhere in Boyle County right now, passing through there and then headed off toward the northeast. And I say east-northeast because it has a bit of an easterly jog, but still veering toward the north as well. So that's where your veer comes from. But right now, just rolling through those counties and those communities as we head through time. So again, the warning has been extended out to the east of that. Right now, passing through Boyle County and some of the stronger points, and some of that on the southern side of it as well. And I will venture down here to see for you, and there you see it just to the west of Stanford too. So we get down into Lincoln County, and you're also
that thing, Jim, is moving at 55 miles an hour.
Yes.
Still, that forward speed on that has just been absolutely off the charts, and it is just crazy to see these storms moving at 60 miles an hour.
And then, to add insult to injury, you throw in all this high water on the backside with numerous flash flood warnings on top of damaged areas that have already, like Bowling Green, now under a flash flood warning. Some high water, a good possibility in that area. So we're adding up several different things, several different layers of severe weather elements coming together to cause problems for several folks across the Commonwealth here this morning. Early, as we are now just past 4 o'clock in the morning. It's 4:02 in the morning, my friends, and we are watching these strong to severe thunderstorms moving through the area. We mentioned that Richmond was now in the path of the next tornado warning. You are. It goes right through the heart of Madison County. You can see it highlighted right there, and it's just west of you folks there in Lancaster, Chris.
Yeah, and you know, Jim, we look at the northern edge of this. It's losing a little bit of the lightning with it, but the tornado warning, this does include Nicholasville. This includes Lancaster, Harrodsburg. This is kind of splitting us, but most of this is to the south of us. It is on top of Lancaster, Danville, Berea. We're not included in this, but into Richmond, the Whitehall area. Yeah, we're under the gun with this. Bryansville, Lancaster, and northern parts of Lincoln County as well. Jim, if we pause this, I want to see inside this to see if we are losing a little bit of the circulation. And I'm wondering if the southern extent of this isn't going to try to take over now. Because that's the southern edge of this is becoming what looks like more linear toward the southwest into Bowling Green. So you've got a little spin here. Yeah, boy, it's still got those competing signatures that are showing up here. So a little spin is right on top of Danville. There is another little spin, looks like on top of the Boyle and Lincoln County line, and maybe a little one here to the east of Harrodsburg. So within this, Jim, you may have one or two little brief tornado touchdowns that can show up. Not too dissimilar to what happened in Stamping Ground in Franklin County on Sunday night into Monday morning, because those were relatively weak tornadoes by tornado standards. They weren't on the ground in some cases more than 30 seconds or a minute. They just happened to hit on top of homes. so you look at that and you wonder if that's what we're dealing with, because you're losing the lightning on the northern edge of this, but you've got little competing signatures that are showing up, little spins. And as long as they're fighting in there, it keeps that one major spin from potentially taking control. I'm not trying to minimize it, I'm just giving you an observation on what we're looking at here. So if you are in Jessamine County, if you're in Madison County, downtown Richmond, into Lancaster, over into Boyle County, Lincoln County, Mercer County, let us find the safe shelters immediately. So Stanford, Danville, Lancaster, Bryantsville, Nicholasville, Wilmore, over toward Harrodsburg, and into downtown Richmond. Safest place is a basement, interior room on the first floor. The lowest floor is where you want to be. And the objective is to put as many walls between where you are and the outside as you can. And listen, I preach this every time we have tornadoes or the threat of tornadoes. Now, granted, we haven't had any this year. We haven't had any in a few years, to be honest with you. It's been a quiet past couple of years. We're not going to complain about that. Protect your head. I don't care what you got to do. Protect your head, because flying debris is the number one problem we're facing in a tornado. Flying, I mean, you see the video of tornadoes. You see everything that is just flying around, right? So if we protect our head, if it's with an old helmet, baseball helmet, batting helmet, football helmet, hard hat, not that we all have helmets laying around. I get that. What's probably more likely to be laying around somewhere is a bicycle helmet. Put that on too. It's all about covering your head. Protect your head above all else, and then your chances of getting through this are much, much, much higher. So with so many areas now under tornado warnings in central Kentucky, as we've said through the past few hours, kids, I want you guys to just take a deep breath right now, because it's the middle of the night. I get it. We're scared, right? So just take a deep breath. Remember all those tornado safety drills we went through in school. I mean, you know, at the time, it was kind of cool, right? I mean, you got out of class, you were doing a little tornado drill, and you gotta go through the motion. Okay, well, guess what? What we learned then, we're going to put to good use right now. So we're going to remain calm, and we're going to get to our safe shelters, and we're going to cover our head just like we did during those tornado drills, whether or not we did those tornado drills at school or whether we did them at home. I mean, maybe your family practiced those. Maybe your family has that designated shelter. All right, we're going to get through this, okay? Just do what we're asking of you, and take a deep breath. Listen to what everybody around you is telling you to do. Just take a deep breath. Promise you, we're gonna get through this, okay? And then we're gonna be here for you. And if you guys, anybody right now, you know what, Jim, this probably goes for some adults too, because some adults are probably going to freak out on an event like this. But just take a deep breath. Let's go through our storm shelters, our motions, what we're telling you to do. And we're going to give you, yeah, there we go. And then we're going to give you the information that can give you the best chance of getting through this unscathed. Property, we can replace that. All right? Lives, something we can't. So here's your tornado warning until 4:45. Boyle, Garrett, Jessamine, Lincoln, Madison, Mercer. It's a lot of real estate, but not everybody within this area is going to see a tornado. It's going to be a limited area that actually gets hit by a potential tornado. But covering our head is going to be step one, Jim, in getting through this and seeking that safe shelter, the lowest floor that you can get to. And again, kids, deep breath. Listen. If you listen to us and hear us out, promise you we're going to get through this A-okay. And for the moms and dads who are out there and you're running to your safe shelter right now, you can pull us up on our app. You can pull us up. I think we're on Facebook Live. At least I hope so. And so we're on Facebook Live. You can watch us on your phone that way. Or, Jim, let's say you don't have good cell service in your basement or your storm shelter. Turn the TV up. Crank it up.
Right.
We're loud to begin with, and you can hear us. We'll walk you through this. And what we're seeing right now on this particular radar view, Jim, is the northern edge of this weakening just a little bit based on just the lightning. Lightning is a really good indicator sometimes on the storm strengthening or weakening. And we're seeing the lightning now more into Lincoln County than on the northern side of that.
And that spot in Lincoln County, regardless if it is producing a tornado or not, it is a very intense part of a thunderstorm right now that's moving through that area. Might be picking up on some large hail, so you get all the other characteristics to go along with it, even if it isn't tornadic at this particular moment in time. But that is what we are watching, the tornadic threat very close here, and we will continue to monitor it. And I'm going to try to look, again, as Chris has been pointing out, multiple little areas where there could be some spin, trying to go up, trying to develop into individual little cells or individual little spots of circulation. So right now, it's a constant battle with that. This warning was set to go to 4:45 for all the areas we have highlighted in the new section of the warning. We had an old warning out. Now we're in the new warning zone, and several areas included in that, Jasper County. Right through the middle of Madison County. I mean, you go all the way into downtown Richmond with this. I mean, that's quite a bit of real estate when you consider it in Nicholasville. The only thing is, Chris, I guess, this time of year, a lot of the kids are off campus because we're in winter break, you know.
Finals are over.
Right.
Kids are away from campus, but, folks who live out near Lake Reba, you're on the far eastern edge of that particular warning. But I'm telling you, Jim, the northern part of that is kind of falling apart right now.
Yeah.
This is becoming much more linear across the southern extent of this, and that extends back in toward Lincoln County. So I'm looking inside this particular storm, and it's losing a lot of rotation, isn't it?
It is. A whole lot.
And that's a beautiful sight. And the northern side of that is losing that rotation. So what we may need to watch for now is to see exactly how this plays out on the southern end of this. And I'm also, my goodness, look at poor Bowling Green. We know we just got devastated by a tornado. Injuries, we've got people that are trapped here, and now we've got flash flooding to deal with. And what I'm seeing on the southern edge of this as of now, Jim, we may get some kinks to form along that line, but when I see this kind of lining up like that, it's transitioning, at least on the back edge of this, into more of a flash flood signature than a true tornado signature as of now. But again, this is our potential tornado that is heading toward Garrett County into Madison County. I say potential because I'm not seeing as much rotation within this as what we were seeing a little bit ago. But this storm has had a history of cycling just a little bit. What do I mean by cycling? Listen, it's a fancy term for saying it gets stronger, it gets weaker. All right? That's it. We'll put it where you can understand. It gets stronger, it gets weaker. Right now, it's a little weaker on the northern side of that. Now, it can't go back and forth forever. So is it running out of steam once and for all? Fingers crossed. But the southern edge of this is the stronger part of this, and then there's one little part of it to the northwest of the Bryanttsville area. By the way, where you're seeing this little bit of white and gray here, that is where the radar says, hey, I see some hail here. So that's could be a hail signature southwest of Lancaster, and then into northern, a couple of spots here in the northern parts of Stanford, Lincoln County, Stanford, Houstonville, and then northwest of Bryanttsville near Junction City. Over toward Paint Lick, that tornado warning is in effect. So I guarantee you, Jim, we got so many folks that are down here right now. This is a highly populated area, and a lot of folks getting those tornado sirens that are going off and hitting those storm shelters if you got them, basements if you got them, ground floor, interior room, closet, covering our head. That's where we need to be as of right now. But again, we've had no reports with this one of a tornado. This same storm has produced a tornado. This same storm produced the tornado down in Bowling Green. But it is, again, now farther to the northeast and a little disjointed. I'm looking at this, though, curious as to see if we find anything in this particular part of our storm. If we take a little look in, it's kind of splitting just a little bit, but we'll see if it can get out on its own and do anything. But as of now, no, not so much. Not a whole lot of spin showing up with this. Maybe just a little there north of 27 near the Mercer and Garrett County line. Far cry, though, from how we started this coverage, going on 2 hours ago, I guess, with the continuing coverage?
Yeah, I guess.
Give or take a little bit.
Yeah.
When we had that tornado that was making its way across Taylor County. Same storm, by the way, but it's kind of doing a little split now. southern edge of this is stronger than the northern edge. That southern edge is aimed more toward Lancaster and Stanford, and maybe between Berea and Richmond. So a lot of folks are listening to us right now, hanging on, waiting for that all clear. Can't give it to you just yet. This tornado warning still has 30 minutes left in it. I don't know if we're going to see the 30-minute.
No.
I don't know that this is going to make it to 4:45 for an expiration time.
They just peeled the back of it off right there.
Yeah, the back just got chopped away. So there you go.